Hey, it's Nathan with optionsforl.com. In this video, I'm going to go over my options trading results for the week ending 23 January 2026. We're going to take a look at the positions that I closed, the positions I opened. We'll take a look at my current open positions and what I might need to pay attention to in the next week or two ahead. And then finally, I'll have AI take a look at my open positions and it'll give me its thoughts and opinions and guidance on what it thinks I should do with my open positions. Now, I'm going to be using the options4l options tracking dashboard to go through my portfolio and my positions. But this is a real portfolio. I have a real account on Robinhood here. You can see my Robinhood account, and I have a bunch of trades and positions open here. So I'm not doing like paper trading or anything like this or anything like that. These are actual trades. And also, real quick, link in the description down below. I have a link where you can view my entire portfolio. It's like a view-only link where you could go in, you could check out my open positions, closed positions, etc. You could click into them as well. So if you want to, click around and explore my positions, link in the description down below. You can do that. You don't have to log in. It's free. You can go check it out. Also, if you're interested in checking out the platform, it's at tool.optionsforl.com or optionsforl.com or a link in the description down below. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to be looking at next week, or not next week, the last week. So we'll just do the last 7 days right here and take a look at what went down. All right, so here's my current total P&L live. So I'm in the negative. My realized P&L, so what I actually closed out this week, I am negative again. I was negative last week as well. So it's been a brutal couple weeks for my options trading account, but overall, I'm not too concerned about it. You'll see why in a few minutes. Basically, I'm down because I rolled out a position. I rolled out and down a position. So hopefully that roll becomes profitable, but we'll take a closer look in a few minutes. I currently have 2 open positions still. My win rate, so I did have 2 wins, but 1 L, and the loss, was big. There's my cash balance of my account, not my weekly cash balance, but my total cash balance. My daily P&L breakdown, so you can see Wednesday, that's when I rolled my position. But the other days, I brought in some credits and closed out for a profit. You can see my strategy performance, so cash secured put, iron condor, covered call, and also added a new feature to the site, benchmark. So now I can compare my results, or anybody that's using the tool could compare the results to different benchmarks. So there's my portfolio. There's what S&P 500 did last week, Bitcoin, and my portfolio is quite Bitcoin focused. I have a lot of IBIT and MSTR, so kind of tracked with Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin had an interesting week. It crashed pretty hard right off the start, and so my portfolio kind of reflects that. And then gold, which has been ripping, so I am not performing as well as gold. Should have just thrown all my money right into gold, and I would have been happy. All right, moving on. Let's focus on the positions that I closed this past week, and some of them go hand in hand with the positions that I opened. So we'll go ahead and get into it. So first things first, excuse me, I have a IBIT covered call that closed this week, but I also opened it this week. So on Tuesday, after MLK Day and the market opened back up, I opened a covered call position against IBIT. So we'll click into it real quick. We can see that I sold to open 9 contracts at 29 cents, $53 expiration or strike, and the expiration of Friday. And basically I got a credit of $260.61, so 100% return on this particular trade. So that was good. And next week I plan to open up another covered call position against IBIT. I can have about 38 covered call positions against IBIT, and right now I'm at, I think, 19 covered call positions, so I could have 19 more if I want to. This past week I only opened up 9 because the market was kind of volatile and I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, so I only did 9 of 18 that I could have done, or 19 that I could have done. So we'll see next week, but current plan is to open up another covered call position against IBIT. All right, I'm going to skip down to my SPY position. So I have an iron condor right here. And so what I've been doing is every week I've been opening up an iron condor position about 40 to 45 days till expiration, and my delta being about 0.2 and a spread of $5 between the strike prices. And the goal is to make about $400 to $500 a week. So every week I'm opening up a new iron condor, expiration 40 to 45 days out. And so every week a new iron condor starts to expire or gets profitable enough or enough return that I go ahead and close it out early and realize my gains. So that's what I did on this particular position. So we can take a look. So I entered it on December 15th and I exited it on January 20th. So I did close it a few days early because my expiration was January 23rd. So closed it a little early, but it was, profitable. I got a 90.3% return. My net P&L was $506.22. So like I said, my goal is $400 to $500 a week. So I was above my goal and I don't want to get greedy. So I closed it out early. You can see my legs right here. So I had my short call 700, short put at 655, and SPY, is right between those two. So it's a pretty good trade. And that's that position right there. Then I have my IBIT cash secured put. So this is a position that I rolled. So you can see that I also opened a new position right here. So these two positions go hand in hand. I closed out this position right here for a loss, but I rolled and received a profit. So I'm going to open this position real quick. All right, so this is my current position, or my closed position, I'm sorry. So I entered it back in October. I exited it now, January 21st. So if you watch one of my previous videos, this is one that was deep, a cash secured put that was deep in the money. It was like $8 or $9 in the money with the February 20th expiration date. You can see $59 strike price right there, and IBIT is sitting around like $50 right now. So I went ahead and just rolled it out on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. No, it must have been Wednesday, when the market dropped really hard. The extrinsic value of this position dropped to less than 20 cents, and that was my trigger to go ahead and roll. I don't want to be early assigned. I'd rather just push out, kick the can down the road, and hopefully IBIT rebound. So it wasn't worth risking early assignment, so that's why I rolled this particular position. You can see my roll chain history as well. You can see that currently my roll chain total P&L, my live one, so using live pricing, is currently underwater. It's about negative $5,000. Rolled for, I've realized losses all along the way, and my current position is, out of the water. But anyway, the whole chain that's live is underwater. But if I clear my live prices real quick and I open it back up, I can see that my total credits is $2,242.66. So if my current position expires worthless, well, then I will realize my chain total P&L, that $2242.66. So that's what I'll realize if my current position expires worthless. So hopefully I got till May 15th, and in order for it to go ahead and, IBIT to jump up to above $58, and then that way I can go ahead and finally be done rolling this out. You can see that I've rolled it down several times, 67.50, 65.50, 59. Now I'm down to 58, and I really need IBIT to rebound. I'm bullish on Bitcoin and IBIT perma-bull there. So hopefully, it does what I think it's going to do. All right, so those are the positions that I closed out. These are the positions that I opened this week, and we covered two of them at least. The cash secured put we already talked about, and the covered call that we opened and closed this week. I also opened up another iron Condor. You can see it right here. So my net P&L, so this was my credit that I received, was $494.50. Let me actually go ahead and turn on live pricing again and open that back up. All right, so that was my credit that I received. Now I've only realized, or my unrealized P&L is $37, and my percent return is 7.5%. So I need these options to go ahead and expire worthless, so that way I can realize more of my actual P&L. We can see all the Greeks and all that good stuff. These are the legs. I'm not going to go through every single position. You could pause the video, or again, you could go, click over into my account and take a look at my positions if you want to do that. Now, when you are viewing my account, you won't get the deltas or the Greeks. You'll just get the regular transactions. The Greeks are part of a paid plan, but anyway, you'd get that idea, and you can check out what's going on with it. All right, so those are the positions I opened and closed this week. Now I want to take a look at my open positions and what I need to pay attention to going into next week. All right, so coming up next week, I think, is January 30th. Yep, so I got a couple things expiring. January 30th, I have an MSTR covered call, and this is actually a poor man's covered call. I have a long call option. We can scroll down here. long call option on MSTR right here. There's my long call option. Expiration is 17 June 27. It's currently profitable right now, so that's exciting. Hopefully MSTR continues to go up in value, just like I hope Bitcoin goes up in value. All right, so anyway, poor man covered call right here, expiring January 30th. Let me go ahead and open this position real quick, and we can take a look. So there's my net P&L, my credit, unrealized P&L, and my percent return. And we can see also my chain right here. So my chain is currently profitable as well. So if I went ahead and closed this position early with this 83% return, well, then I would have closed out my chain profitably as well. So this whole chain is profitable at this moment in time, and hopefully we stay that way. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and chart out, or have AI tell me what it thinks MSTR is going to be at on January 30th, 2026. So I'm going to click this little chart icon, and I'm going to agree to the terms of service. All right, so this tool right here is available at chart.optionsforall.com. It's a free tool. You don't have to log in or sign up or do anything. You can just come use it. And what it does is you select a target date, so whatever date you want the prediction to be made for. In this case, I'm doing January 30th because that is when my options expire. And then you enter your stock ticker symbol, so whichever one you want. You could also do like BTC USD or ETH USD if you wanted to do Bitcoin or Ethereum, or you could do Doge and whatnot as well. And then you click generate. It generates a chart. So the chart has all the indicators and things like that, like the MACD, RSI, volume, Bollinger Bands, EMAs, etc. So it has all that data, and what it does is we click Analyze Chart, and it sends it over to AI. We're using Claude Sonnet 4.5, and it analyzes the data on the chart, and it gives us a prediction on where it thinks the price is going to be on the date that we selected. So we're going to go ahead and let that run and see what AI thinks the price of MSTR is going to be in about 6 days. Alrighty, the analysis is finished running, and this is the prediction or projection for MSTR in the next 6 days, $167.50. And let me go back to my position. So I have a sell to open call position with a $180 strike price. So I want the price of MSTR to be less than 180 on January 30th. And so according to the prediction, it will be less than 180 on that date. So that would make this option expire worthless, and I would get to keep my entire credit. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, of course, I am long on MSTR as well, so I do want the price to go up. So I wouldn't be mad if it went up, but also it would be nice to have this option expire worthless, and I could just keep this credit and then open up a new position. Alrighty, so that's that position right there. Let's go on to the next one. I have an Iron Condor expiring this week coming up. We can see that my unrealized P&L is $413.70, so I could go ahead and close that early because it is within my goal of $400 to $500 a week. I'm at 85.7% return. So we'll see how the market opens up on Monday, and maybe I'll close it out early and just realize my gains here, but we'll see. Let's take a look at my legs real quick. So I've got a short call at 705 strike price and a short put at 657 strike price. Let's go ahead and chart this one as well. I'll click the little icon, and we've got our chart generated. We'll go ahead and analyze the chart and see where AI thinks SPY is going to be on this Friday coming up. Alrighty, the analysis is finished running, and it thinks that it's going to be $692.50, which is right between my two short positions, so that would be perfect. So we'll see how that plays out. And I do want to point out that this prediction isn't just like made up randomly. Like, it goes through all the technical indicators and explains what it's looking at, what it's reading, goes through the divergences and trends, the chart patterns, the potential scenarios, and overall bias as well. So it goes through all that information if you want to read it and see why it thinks it's going to do the prediction that it makes. All right, so there's that position. So we'll let that one kind of play out. I have another covered call expiring in 2 weeks from here on IBIT, and I have an Iron Condor, another SPY Iron Condor expiring in 2 weeks as well. Let me take a quick look at this position and see what we think. So here we are inside of the position, and what I want to do is take a look at my roll chain history. And so this is my chain total P&L. So right now it's a profitable roll chain at $852.60. So if I do close out of this covered call position early, I would close it out for a gain. We can see that my initial position right here, expiration of January 16th, I realized a loss of $1,787.58, but then I rolled for a credit, and now that particular position is profitable enough that I have unrealized gains of $2,640.18, making my chain currently profitable right here. So if I close it out early, I would realize $852.60 into my account. And so I'll be keeping an eye on this position. We can see that it's a $55 strike price right there. The current price of IBIT is $50.70. So, it's got like a 10% increase that it's got to go in order for this to not be a profitable trade, or that I have to roll out and up. I'm going to go ahead and chart this one as well real quick. Since it's a different time frame, we got 13 days instead of 6 days. We'll go ahead and analyze this chart real quick. I do want to point out as well, since we're here, that the chart does dynamically update based off of the time frame. So if you're doing like a short dated trade, the chart would be like minute candles, versus a longer time frame, you might have hourly or daily candles in your charts. So it's kind of it's a dynamic updating chart depending on the different time frames you're working with. And I do have there's instructions for how to use this tool as well. You can click instructions and check that out. But let's go ahead and see what AI thinks about IBIT in the next 13 days. Alright, it's finished running its analysis, and it thinks that it's going to be $51.85 in the next 13 days. My strike price is $55, so that would cause this to expire worthless, and I'd get to keep my entire credit. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, I do want IBIT and Bitcoin to go up, so I wouldn't be mad if it went up higher than that. But if it stays, at that prediction, well, then this position or my options will expire worthless, and I could open up another covered call position and stop rolling things out. All right, we'll do a quick gander at the rest of my account. So there's that SPY Iron Condor, or another SPY Iron Condor right here. Another one, and they're all doing fine. I got, time. I'm not going to take any action on them. We can see that they're all profitable at this moment in time. None of them are within my $400 to $500 range, except for the one expiring next week, and then the one 2 weeks out it's getting there. So maybe by the end of this week, it might be in the $400 to $500 range. Time will tell. I have several cash secured puts against IBIT with further expirations, so 20 March, 15 May, 15 May. I've rolled them several times. You can see that my roll chains are negative. These are the ones that I keep pushing out and hoping that IBIT and Bitcoin, bounce pretty good. I got a $53 strike price right here. So this one, hopefully, goes positive soon. I got a $58 put or strike price on this one, and a $54 strike price. So these two right here will hopefully, I'll be able to close them out sooner rather than later. And then this one, hopefully, I can close out eventually as well. So just monitoring them. And I know people think that this is a death roll and everything else. Time will tell. Again, I'm bullish on Bitcoin and IBIT and the government printing money, so we'll see what happens. I have a SPY covered call that this might be a death roll. I have $660 strike price. It's currently sitting at $689.23. I'm losing money on this trade, and I might have to roll or close it out and kind of start over. I was kind of learning some stuff when I opened this particular position up, and it's not panning out too well. Finally, I have my long position, so I have 3 IBIT long calls or leaps, I guess, on IBIT, and then I have an MSTR leaps option as well. They're all underwater at the moment, but again, bullish on Bitcoin, and so time will tell. All right, so those are the open positions. Again, next week I plan to do another covered call on IBIT and also open up another Iron Condor on SPY. And finally, let's go ahead and have AI take a look at my positions and tell me what it thinks I should do. So I'm going to go to AI open positions, and I'm going to go ahead and generate a new report, and we'll see what it thinks I should do. Alrighty, so the almighty AI has finished analyzing my open positions and has come up with the recommended actions that I should take. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this page. I'm just going to go quickly through it. But what I like about doing this is I go through my positions and I come up with my own analysis and thoughts on them. And then I have AI do its analysis on my open positions. And it's kind of like a double check if like we agree or maybe I missed something. So it's just like a second set of eyes on my portfolio. Now, of course, it's AI and it makes mistakes. I mean, so do humans. We make mistakes as well. And of course, you know, whatever you do is up to you and your own risk tolerance, and you're responsible for your own actions, yada yada. But anyway, this is just what AI thinks. So that MSTR covered call, it says I should close it now for a profit. You can see that it's accounting for my roll chain is profitable, $146 total, take the win. My iron Condor closed for max profit. So it wants me to close on Monday for locking in about $414 profit. Okay, so I'm kind of in agreement. Again, that $400 to $500 goal, you know, it's right there. So I agree with you, AI, on the iron Condor, but MSTR, I'm probably going to let go for a little bit longer. I'm kind of far away from that strike price. I think it's like $150 some dollars or $160 some dollars right now. So I got a little bit, oh, it's right there, $163.11. So I got $16. Look, it's all right there. I got $16.89 of room still, so I'm probably going to let that play out a little bit longer. Things to watch. My IBIT $55 covered calls, which are 12-day expiration. It says my roll chain is up already, so its recommendation is to watch it. And if IBIT stays below 52, close around 2/3 for max profit, or if it rallies, consider rolling up and out to capture more upside. Okay, so that sounds reasonable. All right, my SPY iron Condor that's expiring in 12 days, it's $304. Close around I guess February 3rd, February 4th for max profit if SPY stays between $665 and $705. All right, so there we go. Position recommendations, long calls are a mixed bag. So yep, I agree. My IBIT leaps are losing. Yep, we already went over all that. My critical, so cash secured puts with roll chain losses. All right, so my IBIT $58 put with my May 15 expiration. It doesn't like what I'm doing here, doesn't like what I'm doing here, doesn't like what I'm doing there. Okay, yep, I'm tracking. I technically shouldn't keep rolling, but again, I'm bullish on Bitcoin and IBIT. A decision point, so option A, close all three. Option B is to roll down and out one more time. Option C, let the $53 put get assigned away. Hopefully it doesn't, hopefully it expires worthless. Its recommendation, close the $58 put immediately and close the $54 put as well, and consider assignment on the $53 put. So anyway, recommendations, I don't have to listen to it. That SPY covered call that I have, yeah, probably in agreement with it. But its recommendation is to roll up to 685, 690 strike for June or July. I don't know if that's even viable, but that's what its recommendation. My portfolio risk summary. So it goes through like my concentration risk, overall exposure, my Vega risk, data decay analysis, priority action list, things to do this week, additional observations, summary, and so on. So that's what AI thinks I should do, and you know, I might come back and spend some more time reading it, not, you know, while recording a video and you sitting here watching me. But like I said, I think it's nice to have a second set of eyes kind of evaluate your portfolio, and so that's why I run it through that process. And so that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you found it interesting. Again, links in the description down below. Like if you want to come click through my portfolio, you could go ahead and do that. You know, you can view everything, open up the positions and everything else like that. Or if you're interested in checking out the tool, it's tool.optionsforall.com, link in the description down below. Or if you want to check out the chart analysis tool, it's at chart.optionsforall.com. And that's it. I hope you have a great week.